back to Court TV Live. I'm Julia Janae, along with Judge Ashley Wolcott. Thank you for following along with us as we watch these new developments that are happening out in Arizona in the abduction of Nancy Guthrie case.
The FBI announced today that they are carrying out a new search near Nancy's home north of Tucson. It's been 11 days and still no sign of the 84-year-old mother of today's show host, Savannah Guthrie.
So let's bring in crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson, who has been following every moment of this. Matt, can you tell us what is the latest in the search for Nancy?
Julia, Judge Ashley, nice to see you both. Major developments in the case, in the search for Nancy Guthrie, including a person of interest questioned and then released. But happening right now, look at your screen. FBI once again searching the Catalina Foothills neighborhood where Nancy went missing more than a week ago. They also released this statement to our newsroom saying, quote, numerous FBI agents are conducting an extensive search along multiple roadways in the Catalina Foothills area related to Nancy Guthrie investigation. The FBI releasing surveillance video just yesterday of a masked person of interest on the porch of Nancy Guthrie's home just moments before she was taken. Hours later, police detained a man during a traffic stop who goes by the name of Carlos, a delivery driver who spoke with our Scripps News Group station in Phoenix. Take a listen.
How did this all start? How did they stop you here? You were driving here?
No,
or?
my wife was driving.
Your wife was driving?
Because they were following me. And once I saw they were following me, I pulled over. They didn't even have to put a traffic stop or anything. I got off the car, and they arrested me as soon as I got off the car. They didn't even tell me what was going on until the detectives got here, like 2 hours before I got arrested. And then the detectives got here. It was the FBI agent in Santa Cruz County. And they told me I was being detained for kidnapping. And I asked them, like, well, kidnapping of who? And they told me this lady, I don't know her name. And
Nancy Guthrie?
Yeah, that's her. And I told them I work in Tucson for GLS. I might have delivered a package to your house, but I never kidnapped anybody. They hold me from like 4 to right now.
So it was about 4 o'clock and they're holding you to right now, so after midnight? Did they tell you anything? I mean, you're in the back of the truck?
They didn't tell me anything until right now. Like I said, like the beginning, they answered they wanted me to answer their questions, like where I was, what hours and all that, and I answered the questions. And right now, all they told me is that I'm free to go.
Had you heard of Nancy Guthrie before tonight?
Never until today.
Never until today?
Yeah.
So
I didn't. They told me I watched the news and I Googled her number or her name, and I prove it to me. And they couldn't prove it to me. Like, they didn't have no, it was insufficient evidence. Like, they only had a phone on me. That's all they had. And supposedly I was at her house. But like I said, I work delivering packages for GLS. I might have delivered a package to her house.
But didn't kidnap anybody?
No.
So what's going through your head when they're telling you kidnapped somebody?
I'll lose everything.
And so they have all this, they detain you, you're here for hours, and what did they just tell you?
Then I'm free to go.
Free to go. You hadn't followed this news. This is big, major news. It's Nancy Guthrie, who's her daughter is Savannah Guthrie, who hosts the Today Show on NBC. So it's been big news. She's been missing for more than a week. So they have put out, the Pima County Sheriff's Department put out that they had detained a person of interest. And I guess that's you?
I guess so. I'm innocent. I'll let you know that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. I didn't do anything. Like I said, I didn't even know what was going on until the FBI and the Pima County detective arrived, and they told me, well, you're being detained for kidnapping, and all of a sudden they read me my Miranda rights. Now you're being under arrest. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And now free to go.
Yeah, now I'm free to go.
And yet another twist, TMZ reporting that they received yet another note from someone offering this time to rat out the alleged kidnapper in exchange for 1 Bitcoin. TMZ reporting that they received a note that said that they tried to contact Savannah Guthrie's brother and sister but failed in their attempt. It goes on to say, quote, time is more than relevant. TMZ is just one of the many news outlets that received alleged ransom notes that requested $6 million in Bitcoin. Anyone with any information at this point in time being asked to call 1-800-CALL-FBI. The sheriff telling us that they received more than 4,000 tips in just 24 hours after posting those videos and those images of that masked person on Nancy's porch.
Wow, Matt, so many developments, but not the one that everyone hopes will happen. Thank you so much for that update. Let's bring in our analyst who is standing by, criminal defense attorney Silva Megardician. Silva, thank you so much for joining us, and let's talk about just that development with the young man who was detained. That's actually the news you don't want to see. You don't want someone who potentially gets mixed up in a case like this and is falsely accused. I'm thinking about famously Richard Jewell in the Southern Unabomber situation where everyone wanted an answer and then he became this suspect and it was completely detrimental to everything. What do you think about this young man who's now having to come forward, seeming to speak openly with the media, but this could have gone much differently for him?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, Julia, great to see you. Judge Ashley, always a pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show. And here's the problem with high-profile cases. There's immense. Everybody's eyes are on this case. They want answers. It's been now we're almost done with week 2, and she's still missing. An 84-year-old woman in horrific health with a daughter who's a national hero almost with her broadcasting career. The problem is the FBI has to have answers. The local police, people want answers, and we just don't have them. So I think in their desperation, they tried everything they could to get anybody. And the news came out that a person of interest, but there's a big difference between a person of interest and an actual suspect. And we haven't had a suspect yet. But you guys, this case is getting weirder and weirder. You know, this third note, again, it from the first day it struck me, these ransom notes going to TMZ and then a local news station. It just, there's so many weird things. And then demanding 1 Bitcoin for information that they're going to snitch on who actually did this. The problem is a lot of these notes or tips are not going to be real. So by the time the police sift through what's real and what's not real, this poor 84-year-old woman is still missing. And we don't know if she's still alive. And it's frustrating the American public. And trust me, it's frustrating the FBI and the local police. So this is why we're going to have, you know, people of interest who are going to be detained, questioned, and then let go.
Tell us a little bit, if you would, Silva, your thoughts around these notes going to multiple media outlets, because I feel like today's technology, those should be traceable. There should be some evidence based on how it was received, the server it came from, et cetera, and the FBI's tools at their disposal, that you should be able to figure out a little bit about who's sending them, where they are. Do you believe that to be true, or do you think that that may not be possible?
Look, Judge Ashley, it struck me because we haven't really seen much of the notes, of course, because, you know, they need to keep things secret. But Harvey Levin of TMZ said something really interesting. He said that he found that whoever did these notes, at least the first and the second ransom note, it struck him as very well spoken. He said the grammar was perfect. It looked very advanced, that this wasn't someone who was flimsy in what they were doing. And we have to assume with the Bitcoin account that was not traceable for note number 1 and note number 2, this is someone who's not a simpleton, if you will. It's someone who knows how to cover their tracks, cover the Bitcoin account traceability, because a lot of times the officers, the FBI can trace Bitcoin accounts depending on how much money is going in and out. This had nothing. So I think there's a little bit of a stymied effort here of not only tracing the notes, but what frustrates me too, Judge Ashley, is in this day and time, when there is the availability of cameras, ring cameras, DNA, everything we have under our disposal, the fact of the matter is we still don't have a viable suspect. That to me also kind of boggles the mind. But let's not forget, Judge Ashley and Julia, right? It's not just Nancy Guthrie who's missing. There is a database of so many people who are missing in this country where we don't have clues, where they seemingly disappear. It's a problem, and we need better investigative skills to find people.
Yeah,
So
I
true.
don't disagree with you.
So many
Absolutely.
missing people and not the same resources going after them, and still this result.
100%. And I think they were smart to bring in partners like the FBI who have additional resources, the reason sometimes they're called in. Silva, stand by if you would, please. Right now we want to turn to Florida for day 1 in Court TV's newest live trial. This is the fatal rejection murder trial.
Yeah, the defendant here is Waymore Gerhardt, accused of killing of 14-year-old Demaya Appling back in October of 2022. And according to prosecutors, he lured this 14-year-old to his home under the pretense that she would be meeting up with a then 15-year-old Keith Anderson, who was a nephew of the defendant. The prosecution says that the victim turned him down, rebuffed Gerhardt's sexual advances, and that was the motive to kill her.
That's right. Anderson was also charged in the case for tampering with evidence. He pleaded guilty and received 7 years probation in exchange for testifying against Gerhardt.
Let's get you back into the court now. We are listening to an investigator with the Dixie County Sheriff's Office under direct examination testifying about confronting the defendant about the 14-year-old Demaya's whereabouts.
I'm going to show you what's already labeled as State's Exhibit 4. You recognize these messages, sir. There.
Yes.
Is that what triggered you to the next part of the investigation?
It was a screen. I didn't have all the messages yet. It was a screenshot of a couple of the messages.
All right. And so what did that lead you to do?
So I went over back to Waymore's house. Waymore did not have a car, but his roommate Max had a car.
All right. And what date was that?
November 2nd.
All right.
November 2nd.
And what did you gather from that?
So I talked to Max, asked him if he would mind if I looked in his car. He told us that there was a blood stain in the car, and he gave us permission to look in the car.
All right. Later on November 7th, do you go and talk to Waymore again?
Yes.
And what leads you to go back to his house?
Well, at that point, I had gotten all the text messages, these messages that you've got labeled as Exhibit 4.
All right. And so what'd you do on that day?
Well, I had already talked to Keith, and then we went and did a search of Wayne's house. We had a search warrant for his cell phone. We wanted to get Wayne's cell phone.
Okay.
Because we had these messages.
Did he give you a cell phone?
Yes.
All right. Did you record the interview? Did you interview Mr. Gerhardt?
Yes.
All right. And did you record it?
Yes.
Your Honor, people read the edited instructions.
All right. Members of the jury, you're about to listen to an audio recording. The court instructs you that the recording has been edited to eliminate irrelevant portions that would not add to your understanding of the case. The fact that the recording has been edited should not concern you in any way and must not impact the way you listen to and consider this evidence.
So, before we play, can you give me a brief overview of the interview?
So this time when I came to the house, Waymore told me that he had seen Demaya that night, that he had brought her into his house to have sex with her. He said that he had paid her $60 and that she was there about 20 minutes. And after she left, he saw her walking towards the shortstop, which is an abandoned store.
Okay, now what is the major difference from the last time you interviewed him?
Well, but the last time I interviewed him, he said he hadn't seen her in months.
All right, so this time he said he had seen her.
Yes.
And was it on the night that she went missing?
Yes.
All right. And did he tell you anything else?
Well, we talked for a long time. He told me, I asked him if he worked the night that she went missing. He said he had gotten sick and went into work late that night. We talked about whether or not he had his cell phone with him that night. He said he always has his cell phone with him.
All right.
He confirmed some stuff.
And did he say that he went anywhere that night?
He said he did not leave his house that night.
Did he even leave the door open that he may have went somewhere that night?
No, he was very clear he did not leave the house that night.
All right. And did he talk about anything about a squirrel?
Yes, he did talk about the squirrel. He said that he had gone hunting a few weeks ago and that he had killed a squirrel. He said that he was going to take the squirrel to Cross City to sell it.
All right, but did he talk about anything about it in a box?
Yes, so he was taking it to Cross City, so he said he put it in a box and put it in the car. And he said when he was driving that the squirrel started jumping around the car and ran around the back seat, and he had to stop and put the squirrel back in the box.
And now, you've listened to this, obviously. Mm-hmm. At some point, the volume changes, is that correct?
Yes.
And can you just explain real quick what happens?
So that recording was made on my cell phone. So sometimes I walk away from my cell phone, like it's placed somewhere, and I go a little bit further from it than where it doesn't pick up as good. Sometimes I also put it in my front pocket, and sometimes that can distort the recording.
Okay. Your Honor, if you'd read the instructions.
I just read it.
Oh, you did. Go ahead.
We need to take a break here. When we come back, we are going to listen to audio of investigators' interview with the defendant. You're going to hear in his own words the stories he tells. Stay here on your front row seat to justice.
What are you reporting?
Fire. The tragic murder of Keith Canero and his entire family.
The defendant repeatedly shot and killed his brother and then moved to murder the rest of the family inside the home.
Their sprawling mansion set on fire.
Paul and Keith were not only brothers, but business partners.
This one is the most brutal case that I've seen in my experience here.
The Mansion Murders Trial. Live coverage today on Court TV.
We'll get back to court in just a moment, but first, here are several cases Court TV is tracking for you. In Utah, a jury has been selected in the upcoming Corey Richens murder trial. The 12-person jury is comprised of 8 primary and 4 alternate jurors. Richens is accused of fatally poisoning her husband, Eric, with a fentanyl-laced cocktail in March of 2022. Her trial is scheduled to begin February 23rd.
And also in Georgia, a jury has been seated in the murder trial for Colin Gray, father of accused Appalachia school shooter Colt Gray. Colin Gray has pleaded not guilty to 29 charges, including 2 counts of second-degree murder in connection with the mass shooting. Now, police say his son killed 2 students and 2 teachers when he opened fire on September 4th. Opening statements there are expected to begin next week, Monday, February 16th.
And in Kentucky, attorneys for former Lecter County Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins has filed a motion to exclude the death penalty from his murder trial. Defense attorneys claim he has a serious intellectual disability or serious mental illness. Steins is charged with first-degree murder in the shooting of Judge Kevin Mullins inside his chambers. There was a video that showed him doing it. That happened in September 2024. Mullins did die at the scene, and Steins surrendered without incident.
So that's what we're keeping an eye on. For now, though, let's head back inside the courtroom there in Florida. A jury about to hear the audio recording of the interview that investigators did with the defendant, Waymore Gerhardt, who is accused in the fatal rejection murder trial of a 14-year-old girl they say he wanted to have sex with, and she turned him down.
Whatever happened, we work with it. We need to know what happened. Just so we know that you. It doesn't tell us any of that valid information that now we found out after years. So tell us what happened when you all got together.
So we were here, to be honest. I dated her and she left.
What time was that?
I think it was 11 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. No. Like 9:40.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 11 o'clock at night. That is the last time I've seen her. I just didn't want to be like her wild or something. Because she's underage.
Oh, what about when you had Keith arrange this and you guys went for a ride? What's the deal with that?
We didn't go for a ride. We talked and that was about it.
That's not what messages say.
We got my phone records.
Yep.
That's not.
So she came here and she quickly left. It wasn't 20 minutes. And then she got picked up by you at the camper because we have witnesses that can show that. and her messages, and then y'all left, and last thing anyone heard was y'all were out by the Blackjack area.
So what went wrong? Something happened. Something happened that went wrong. What happened? I mean, you're being honest with us now. Just tell us what happened, so we can find her. That's what we're after. We need to find her.
I know, but what I'm telling you is the last time I seen her was when she was with her boyfriend. Fucking disgusting saying that. But that was really the last time I seen her. She said something about going with her boyfriend, which is a blonde boy. That's all I know. He's around 5'9", I'd say, you know. He was a little bit shorter than me, so I'm assuming that because I'm right there at 6 foot.
And where were you when she told you this, and you saw this?
At the house.
This house?
Yes, we were done, and she was telling me about it. So I asked her what she's got to do now.
Okay, but we already know that's a lie because you realize your phone tracks all your locations, right? So we know that's a lie.
And you already told another whole different story.
No, I told the truth.
Well, you told other people a totally different story that we have.
People, I haven't talked to anybody else about this case other than my mother. And Keith's been saying his life's in danger because of me, but then he sits there and comes over every single day asking if he can get marijuana. I think he's a big girl, they told me to go the fuck away. I'm sorry for getting upset. It's just because my family and everybody else is telling me all these stories that everybody's telling me, all my friends and shit are hating me, calling me a murderer. Or not saying anything, but there is this.
Because here's look at the job we have to do. Put yourself in our place.
I think that's what I mean. So we need something.
We spoke to you in the beginning.
Yep.
You gave us one story.
Yep.
And now you're being honest and saying, yes, you were with her that night.
Yep.
And yes, y'all did have sex. And then you're stop. We have enough electronic data telling us there's more to this story. If something, whatever happened has already happened.
Yes.
You got it? So with that,
Can't run away from it.
I know, but what I'm saying is I don't know what else there is.
But we know you left with her. You were the last person that we can track her being with, and we know you were in a car, and we know y'all left here.
I did not leave with her here, or leave at all that night.
Who had your cell phone then?
My cell phone?
Yeah.
Me.
Okay, then we already know that's not true because you went to other areas of the county. We know exactly where you went that day.
Well, why'd you go to your grandparents' house up in the hammock?
I didn't.
You went to the hammock.
Electronic data says you did, bud. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I didn't, though. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Then who had your phone?
I should have my phone all night with me. It's always on.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
your phone. You did not stay here the whole night. We can prove that. We need to know what happened. That's all we're looking
Because
at.
if it's an accident or something, we can work around that. But right now, we have everything.
If something happened and it went wrong, whatever happened, we need to know the truth of what happened because we have enough data telling us, and you're not being truthful.
I am.
Then
This little girl has a family. She was somebody.
You were up there.
We already know this.
We already know that.
You're gonna have to tell us the truth.
Just go ahead and tell us the truth. Where will we find
Get it off your chest. I know you feel horrible. You do know you were the last person that was with her, and we can prove that.
I was not with her at all. When she left here, that was the last time ever I saw her.
Even your text messages don't say that.
They should.
They don't.
They should.
You can't delete stuff. It's still there. Facebook Messenger does not go away. Facebook stores that stuff.
I know.
So
just tell them.
No, y'all are talking about her body. I don't know where her body is. The last time I seen her, she said she was leaving.
We didn't say a body.
we said we wanted to know where she was because you were the last one that saw her.
I said, where is she? I never said body.
She left her.
Actually, I think we're going to just get her. I want to think that's what she did for time.
You left with her and nobody's seen her since. You left with her.
I did not leave with her.
Your electronic data says so. So how do we explain electronic data?
I don't know. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm telling you what we got.
When she was leaving, I said, "What are you doing?" And she says, "With my boyfriend." And it's after I gave her, I assumed you're going to get some weed and smoke or something, or whatever they go and do. I don't judge people. I can go on about their business.
I got you.
Okay, hold on. We'll back up then. Okay, you said, how did you get in touch with her to get her to come over here to have sex with you?
She came over and I asked her, because she lived with my sisters.
So she was at, so your sister can verify that?
Yeah, she came over and I walked over.
You hear that urgency in the investigators' voices? It's because they don't have a body yet. They don't know where this missing 14-year-old is. Let's pause it there. When we come back, this interview is going to get more and more intense. We'll get to it on the other side of this break.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott here with Julia Janae. Thank you all so much for being with us today, where we are continuing our coverage in the fatal rejection murder trial of Waymore Gerhardt out of Florida. He faces life in prison without parole for the murder of 14-year-old Demaya Appling.
Now, the background on this one, prosecution says that Gerhardt killed her because she rejected his sexual advances. Let's go back into court now, because we're listening to the jury, listening to an audio of a police interview where this young woman, this teenager, she's still missing, and they are grilling the defendant about her whereabouts because he's the last one who would have seen her.
That was the last time I seen her that night. Yes, that is all. We know that's not true. It is true. We know it's not. I don't know what's going on, but it's not. What y'all are thinking, I mean, I don't understand.
What we're thinking is what evidence that we have. That's what we're thinking.
And I get that, but I don't understand where you're getting into that from.
Your cell phone records. Your cell phone records.
Electronic data.
Put you with her. Text messages put you with her. Between you and Keith and her. All matches up.
Sorry, like I said last time.
Where did you see that?
It was, when she was leaving and he was right there at the door, and she said she couldn't.
You just said they were at the shortstop.
No, that was the 2 weeks before, remember, when I was telling the story. I don't know why y'all are trying to mix up my words. I'm telling you, I mean, if y'all have any recordings, I mean, y'all will hear me say the same thing.
But if you tell the truth, you don't have to make stuff up, and you've been lying to us. You know we're looking for a missing child, and you tell us you haven't seen her.
That's what I'm saying.
And you said, in fact, you told me that you hated her.
I did not say I hated her.
Yes, you did, and that you wouldn't even talk to her.
You said
And that you...
I don't like being around her.
And you said she was trouble.
Yes, I did say that. See, now, there is truth to y'all's words. I did say that.
You need to tell us the rest of the story.
I don't understand. I'm not trying to lie to you. I'm getting honest.
You started off being truthful and then you shut down. And you're giving us another story.
I'm not.
Because we know it's not true.
How am I giving you another story? I'm telling you exactly. I'm even adding it up for you.
Because you're saying that your sister, that it was at your sister's. We know that's not true.
I met her at my sister's house. She wasn't in the house. It was at my sister's house. I walked over there to the end of the yard, into her yard, and she was there.
But your sister wasn't there. She was there because you told Keith, or Keith told her, because y'all probably working together, because he's probably in on it, but he told her to come over here. And then once she saw you, she left. And then she got in your car, and now no one's seen her. And maybe it was an accident, but we won't know unless you tell us the truth.
I don't know either. I'm telling you the last time, every single detail.
Why'd you go to Hammond?
I didn't go to the Hammond.
We know
you did go to the Hammond.
I didn't go to the Hammond.
You did. We can prove that. We can prove it. We can prove it.
I did not go to the Hammond.
We can prove it.
You were in the hammock. I mean, I can show you your own cell phone map if you want to. It shows you in the hammock. Were you supposed to work that night?
Yeah.
Why were you not at work on time?
Because I was sick as hell.
Why were you sick?
Because I don't know, I was sick.
Or maybe it's because you were in the hammock when you were supposed to be at work.
No, because I showed up at work at 10:30. So we're sitting here questioning.
Because we got your cell phone records.
Okay,
And we have her text messages.
But your story is not lining up to what we have at all. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Then search in more places. I mean, I'm being honest. The only people I know that you can ask is my sister and my mother and Keith. That is it.
Because those are the only people you know.
That's all that you know about.
Okay, then why I go around, I'm like hanging out with people and they're like, what's wrong? Police bugging me. They're like, that's you. I'm hearing it's all kinds of other people. Everyone else doesn't even know about this. It's all
Maybe because her last words that she ever spoke in her phone by text were that she was with you. And she was scared of you and didn't want to be with you. And maybe that's why you decided to do what you do, because you couldn't have her, but you wanted her. And she wouldn't give you the time of day.
I don't want her at all. I have no friend.
Yeah, well, then why did you take her that night? Because you wanted her and she didn't want you. So you were going to prove a point to her, and you were going to take her and do whatever you wanted with her, and she was going to fly. And when
Disgusting. No, I don't know.
and when it's not fucked up and disgusting when you're having sex with a 14.
Doing something to her. That's disgusting.
Having sex with her is bad enough.
Would you rather me be honest?
I want to know why she was in your car.
She wasn't.
We can clear this up if you can just tell us that part of it.
She wasn't.
She was in your car. People saw y'all together.
Impossible if I wasn't around.
I mean, you were around.
I wasn't. I was here and working and doing my normal. What?
Your roommate's car, Max's car, wasn't it right here?
Yes, that's my roommate.
So that's not so far-fetched. You had access to his car, and you were seen in his car with Glenn.
He has his keys on him all the time.
Which he says he lets you borrow all the time. So don't even try that.
I'm being honest. I don't know what y'all.
How do you get to work every night?
I drive.
You drive what?
His
Okay,
vehicle.
so you have access to his vehicle.
When I asked him, yes. Trying to be honest with you here. You're saying I'm lying. And you're
Because what you're saying, no,
You're saying it doesn't make
What I'm
sense.
trying to tell you is that what you're saying versus the data that we have that we can prove that's solid doesn't go together. That's the part that I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, you definitely went in the hammock and you're lying about that, and that's something small and simple. You could have been checking the mail at your grandma's house.
I didn't go to him. I didn't go anywhere that night.
You went through it.
Yeah, your phone put you over there. It put you.
We do need to take a break here. We will, of course, have more of that police interview when we return. Stay with us, Court TV Live.
I'm Vinny Politan. Welcome to Closing Arguments.
What's happening here?
It's unreal. Let me show you exactly what happened.
Closing Arguments with Vinny Politan, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
A deadly school shooting.
I just started hearing gunshots.
Now, the father of the alleged shooter is on trial.
Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son to possess a weapon.
The Gave My Son a Gun murder trial, this week on Court TV.
Drop her off anywhere or work her anywhere. That's what I'm confused about.
I mean, I don't know why you're trying to separate yourself from the car and being in the car with her.
Because I wasn't. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Why would other people say that? Everybody just hates you when we get together and complain?
I don't even know who you would ask who would say that.
There's plenty of people like talk around here.
Go ask them more questions.
But see, after they told us stuff, we verified it with phone records.
Okay.
So, and text messages, because we were able to recover everything on her social media accounts and her cell phone.
That's fine.
And everything is you. And she hated you, and she was like nervous just to even be around you. So for me to believe that she came over here and let you have sex with her and you paid her, I'm not buying that. because I know how she felt about you.
I know how she felt about me too.
She hated you.
So why do you think she would have?
Why are you saying I hated her when y'all are changing? Why are y'all changing the story now?
Because you told me that the first time I talked to you. You said, I don't even mess with that girl. I can't stand her.
I can't stand her, but you're saying I said I hated her, and that is such a harsh word that I don't use.
You said you can't stand her, but you don't like me saying that you hated her?
I don't like you saying I'm the one who said I hated her, and then you flip around and say she hated me.
She does hate you. And you did tell me you couldn't stand her. And that you don't even talk about her.
I just told you, yes, I did say I couldn't stand her.
But that was a lie too, so that threw the investigation off for a whole week, because that was over a week ago when you told me that.
Yeah, because it was the truth. I couldn't stand her. She can't stand her.
You also told me that you hadn't seen her. Is that the truth? No, because now you're telling me you had sex with her in the house, and I know she wouldn't have gone in there because she didn't like you.
She did. And she left with her boyfriend.
There is no evidence to support that.
Then find the evidence.
There is none.
Find something.
I'm not going to create evidence. The evidence is that she left with you and no one's heard from her since. So we need to know what happened, and if you dropped her off somewhere in the hammock or anywhere else in this county, we need to know about it. Because then we can find out what really happened to her. But you saying that you weren't with her, other than at your house, is a lie that we can prove.
It is not a lie. I did not go anywhere with her.
So if you want to clear your name, you need to tell us what really happened and where you dropped her off at. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to clear your name, because we can already prove you're with her, which means you were the last person with her.
I just don't know what y'all are trying to get me to confess, because I don't know.
I want you to tell me about the car ride. That's all. You don't have to tell me you killed her. I want to know about the car ride.
I didn't. That's disgusting. I mean, it's pissing me off you even saying that because it's so disgusting.
You're pissing me off because I know you were in the car with her.
I was not.
Oh, yes, you were.
I was not.
That part you're lying about. And the only reason I can think of you lying about it is because you were the last person she was ever with. But if that's not the case, you need to tell us.
I was not the person she was last with. It was her boyfriend. Like I said, he was at the end of the road.
Her boyfriend was not in Swanee Gardens that night.
Whoever she said was her boyfriend was the blonde boy.
She was with you.
No. I mean, y'all can say I'm dissing you off all you want. I don't like y'all going around.
Well, you keep telling me that. That's the only reason I'm telling you that.
Murderer, I'm telling y'all facts, I'm telling y'all stories, I'm showing you how it adds up, and you're not listening. You just tell me.
It doesn't add up because we know she was in the car with you.
No, she was not.
Yes, she was.
She was not. Y'all can come back at a later date and ask me about it again. I can say the same thing over and over and over. I'm not lying. I can be honest. I am.
We won't have to come back and ask you about it because we have the evidence. How about that? We don't have to ask you about it. We have evidence that puts you with her. So if you don't want to tell us your side of the story, then stick to it. But we know you were in the car with her. And the only reason why you would want to lie to us about it is because something happened when you guys were together that you don't want us to know.
No. No. I'm sitting here trying to talk to you all nervous.
I'm using your words.
You are.
I wasn't.
But you're twisting.
No, but when you're sitting there talking about everybody's yelling at you, you're the one that started getting loud.
I was getting loud because y'all are sitting there contradicting me and switching all my words and twisting everything.
Because it doesn't make sense. Because we know where you went that night.
Telling us the story that you want us to believe, but we have electronic data that tells us that story is not true. I don't know what you want from me. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm trying to understand and work.
She said she was with me. I don't understand why, because I wasn't with her.
You were in the car with her and you're lying about that.
With her because you just said you had sex with her.
That was her last. I just said that. I just said the last time I seen her, she was here.
Right.
She was here.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And when we got all the electronic data of the last day that she was seen, and she was with you. And we're trying to tell you that you went up 349 up into the hand. We know you did. And you're trying, your phone, well, let me back up, because let me back up. Your phone went to the hand. It went up 349 toward 272. Your phone did. So either somebody had your phone, or your phone went on vacation without you, or you had your phone and you went up that way. So that's what we're asking you. Did somebody borrow your phone? You said no. You always keep your phone with you. Okay, so then answer me this. Why would your phone show you up there if you were here? I mean, how is that possible?
I don't know.
That's what we're asking. Because
I'm also asking the exact same question. I'm trying to work with y'all, not y'all working with me. I'm telling you, I don't know. I really do not know.
That's why we think you're holding back. Look, I'm explaining. That's why we think you're holding back some stuff. Okay? Because we have proof, and your story doesn't even come close to the proof that we have. That's the problem. That's why we think you're holding back, because you held back before. You didn't tell us about that when you seen her last, and that everything was good, and the story she leaves with her boyfriend. You never gave that to us in the beginning.
Still with us, criminal defense attorney Silva Megerdician. Silva, I have to ask you this. You were with us last hour. We were talking about whether or not the defendant might need to testify. You had said, I think he will. But what stood out to me was he started to lose his temper. He got defensive. He got aggressive. He's been lying in this interview. He may not be the kind of client that you want to take the stand.
Judge Ashley, here's the biggest problem, and this is what we tell all of our clients. Do not talk to the police without your lawyer present. Judge Ashley, there's no prep. People don't realize the spider web. Even if you're completely innocent, officers are trained on how to interrogate. And their whole purpose is to catch inconsistencies, because they know juries don't like inconsistencies. Juries will view it as, well, if you're telling the truth, why would you be inconsistent? Obviously, he's guilty. The difference in real testimony is if the client is able to stay controlled and maintain their temper, and if their story doesn't vacillate, they actually testify quite well when they're prepped properly. But in a police interrogation, Judge Ashley, this is what we tell everybody. Do not answer questions without an attorney, because no matter how trained you are, they're trained more, and they're trained to catch you, and they're trained to arrest you.
Oh, good points. Silva, there was one moment where they were telling him the fact that you slept with her is bad enough. I mean, they've already got a crime here because he's 19 and she's 14, but they're not concerned with that part of it at this point. They just need answers from him. What else was standing out to you about the way that they were interrogating him?
You know, it's funny because just as a casual listener, it is a barrage of questioning. It's a mousetrap of questioning because it's true. Oh, what you did is already awful. You're disgusting. They almost make him non-human. They take away that human aspect, hoping to get some sort of confession, because his thought process is, I'm in trouble already. I might as well admit this. Maybe I'll get a better deal. That's what a lot of defendants think. The fact of the matter is, what stuck out to me was he is incredibly inconsistent. He goes back on what he says. He's very all over the place. And the whole time I'm thinking, stop and invoke your right to remain silent and have an attorney. And that is really the lesson that everyone should know. Even if you're completely innocent, never allow yourself to be questioned without an attorney present. We know the tricks and we can prevent it from happening so that it's not used against you in a court of law like this is.
And I have to say, if I'd been asked questions in that manner, I would have been apprehensive, nervous. I wouldn't like police talking to me in that way. So
it seemed to keep him going, though. He seemed to continue the conversation. I mean, he knows his rights, ideally, but he continues to talk to them, maybe even thinking he can get out of it.
You may be right. All right, Silva Megerdician, thank you so much, of course, for joining us. Appreciate you.
Ahead next hour, we are going to get you back inside of that courtroom. More of that police interview is going to be played with the defendant in the fatal rejection murder trial for Waymore Gerhardt. Keep it right here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.